To Muhammad. How you doing today?
How are you doing, David?
Good.
Great, great. I was wondering if you could take a look at Celgene. I bought it yesterday trying to bottom fish. I think it kind of broke its support. It had a little support at around 81.50 or so. So I'm just wondering, where would you see it going? It seems like it's heading a little bit lower, at least for the time being.
Yeah, I see there's a gap. The last time it got close to it was April 15th of 2014. That's at $66.85.
Wow, that low. Oh.
It's broken all the support. It's done it with volume. Now you got a little gap off the top, but there's two big gaps. This first one from about, well, let's zoom in on it so I don't have to squint so badly. You got your first gap down on the 23rd of October last year. You got another gap on the 26th of October. So what you're looking for is one more gap down that size. This pretty much sets up the criteria for a three-gap play to the downside. And what you would want is this thing to gap down about that size once again. I have a white paper out on a three-gap play. You probably want to email me at path@tfnn.com. And I've got some examples in it, and I'll just email it to you. Anybody else also. But you get two gaps like that, look for a third. I'm not talking about these kind of little tiny ones out here that are $1.50. I'm talking to these massive things that look like they're $8 and $7. You know which ones I'm talking about here?
Right.
Yeah. You get two of those. Look for the third, a big third one to set the low. And that one could take you right down to that level, those levels that go back a number of years. But it looks like it's broken all support. I don't see anything out here that says that's found anything. It's just going to continue to kind of nickel and dime lower, I suspect, to this gap. This gap thing, I think where it's headed is this gap of, what is it, July the 11th, 2013. That had 12 million shares, and that's probably where this thing is going back to. So those are the dates you're looking for. But unless some kind of miracle, and again, drug companies can come out with new drugs. But if you were just looking at the chart, not thinking anything differently, I'd say you want one more gap. You want this thing to test 66.85. You want to do it on a very light volume. And then you set up some trading ranges. Are you stuck in this thing?
Yeah, I bought it yesterday, so I was looking for a little bounce.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking for a bounce. I wouldn't be looking for a bounce in this one. There's some that might get it, but not. I don't think this one. The question is whether or not, even in this whole sector, that you got a anything other than kind of just a little move to the upside in a down move, like in the IBB. In fact, the XBI has a nice little Gartley pattern in the thing. Let's get back down here to this. The SpiderTech Biotech ETF has a nice little Gartley pattern that looks rather bearish too. So nothing around or in the biotech world right now gets me too excited, because literally all the charts look pretty horrible. I want this thing to come back and base out, but this XBI, pretty good Gartley pattern, no real energy on this C to D leg, so there's not a whole lot out here. This thing wanted to go, the projection was 94.55. We got to 94.08, so maybe there's a little bit more on the end of this, but there's not much. A very light volume day on that.
Okay. There are exceptions. Have you checked out Loxo, LOXO? It's also a biotech. It's a newer biotech, and it's kind of like all-time high today.
Yeah, I can't get real excited about going long much of anything into very light volume next week. I'm thinking that maybe if I want to either short or go long, it's probably going to be after the 3-day weekend, after Memorial Day. It's going to be tough. You got 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, to get much going. Those are option rollover days, so you're going to have one up and one down. Probably going to be the same place on Wednesday that you got, and then all the volume's going to start evaporating probably by 2 o'clock Wednesday. Thursday's going to be light. Friday's going to be, everybody's going to be vacant. Okay?
Great. Thank you so much, David.
You bet.